Okay, so comparing fractions. So there are different strategies that you can use to compare fractions, and you use the one that is easier for you and the one that is more practical for the exercise, because there are different strategies that are more practical depending on the exercise. So you can use a fraction wall. Some of you have done this in primary school. I'm going to show you what, but before I show you what a fraction wall, for the ones that doesn't know what a fraction wall is, you can use a fraction wall. You can also use a number line, like the example that we did before. Or there is like a more arithmetic procedure that is the one that I'm going to explain later on. But if this is a fraction wall. So what is this fraction wall is saying? So if you can see here, they start with the whole, yes, and then they divide that whole into two pieces. So they have a half and another half, and then they take the same whole and divide it into three pieces. So they have a third, and then they do it into fourth, fifths, sixths. Then they have it here into eighths, tenths, and twelfths. So this fraction wall, what happens if I ask you, for example, which one is bigger, 1/3 or 1/8? So you can see right away that 1/3 is bigger than 1/8. So that's one of the strategies that I use. It's very good for primary school. I don't think it's as useful in high school because you never have a fraction wall in front of you. So you have to construct it, and that takes time. So I think a number line is more useful if you, depending on the exercise, as I said. Or the other way that you can do it is the following algorithm, okay? So let's say that I have to find, I'm going to compare 1/3 and 1/4. Okay, and because I don't have the same denominator, it's difficult for me to know which one of this one is bigger. So the first step that I have to do, the first step, I'm going to write it here, step 1, is that I have to find the lowest common denominator. And we do that by finding the lowest common multiple. And we already have done that before. Okay, so in this case, because both are prime, 3 is a prime number, and 4, I know that if I break it up into its prime factors, is 2 times 2, I know that I don't have any common between them. Therefore, the lowest common multiple is going to be the multiplication of them. So it's going to be 12. So I'm going to write here. I'm going to do something here. I'm going to copy it a little bit bigger. It's equal to something, and then I'm going to do here 1/4 is equal to something. Okay. So I know that the common denominator is going to be 12, and the common denominator is going to be 12. Okay, but now the question is, how did I get from 3 to 12? So what I did was that I multiplied by 4. So to do an equivalent fraction, I have to do exactly the same to the denominator. So I multiply by 4, and I get that I have here a 4/12. And now we're going to do the same here. So what did I do to this 4 to become a 12? I multiply by 3. So I have to do the same thing to the denominator, to the numerator. So multiply by 3, and this one is going to become 3. And now I'm going to compare these fractions. So now I have, I'm actually going to use here an ink with the marker. I have this fraction that is 4/12. And I have this fraction here that is 3/12. I want you to focus on these ones. And now if I think about this one, which one is going to be bigger? So 4/12 is bigger than 3/12 because in this one I will be having 1/12 more. I'm shading 1 square more in this fraction. Therefore, this fraction is bigger. And because this fraction is bigger, then 1/3 is bigger. Okay? So that's the other procedure that I want you to use. I just wanted to see the fraction wall for you to collaborate what I'm saying here. So I said that 1/3 was bigger than 1/4. And as we can see here, 1/3 is bigger than 1/4. Okay, girls? So this procedure is what you can do. So first, I'm going to write the steps here, but I'm going to write it, typing it in because it's going to be much quicker. So first you have to find the lowest common denominator, and you do that by finding the lowest common multiple, okay, between the two fractions, or as many fractions as you're going to compare. Then you're going to find the equivalent fractions, and then you will compare those fractions. Wonderful. I'm going to post next to this video, or attached to it, some videos that I did last year with more examples of comparing fractions, so that you can have more examples after this video. And then you can do your questions on Jack Plus. Fantastic, girls. Thank you for watching.